What's good, guys? It's Reborn here. In today's video, we're going to be doing a season prediction slash breakdown of my favorite basketball team, the New York Knicks. I'm going to be talking about what I expect briefly from each player and their role on the team, and how I think our new coach, Mike Brown, will fit in, and if this season is a championship or bust. Let's get right into it. Starting with the players, this is quite possibly the deepest Knicks team I can remember us having since the famous 2012-2013 NBA season. We have an amazing projected starting five with Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Cat, and Mitchell Robinson. This would be the lineup I would personally start with, and I'll get to Josh Hart later in the video. Individually, I'm looking for a big bounce back season from our wing duo OG and Mikal. Not that they had bad seasons last year, but at certain points of the season, especially with Mikal Bridges, he kind of disappeared a lot on the offensive end of the side. Now, whether that's a coaching thing or if that was a him thing, that's a whole nother discussion. And speaking of coaching, we hired Mike Brown to be our new head coach. And guys, I'm going to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the move. I wouldn't consider Mike Brown an upgrade over Tom Thibodeau, more like a lateral move. In the last few seasons he had that one good season with the Kings where he made the playoffs. But then outside of that, they missed the playoffs the following year. Then he got fired the next year. Mike Brown isn't some offensive guru, which I think the Knicks should have prioritized finding. Now, yes, Mike Brown did lead the Kings to having a good offensive season the year they made the playoffs, and I hope he can recreate that magic here with the Knicks. But in terms of being considered an offensive coach, I wouldn't consider Mike Brown that type of coach. Now, back to the players. With Mike Brown as our coach, I'm expecting a few things to change. One is less Jalen Brunson, heliocentric offense. Stay with me now. This is part of the reason we lost in the playoffs last season. Because everyone knew Jalen Brunson was going to pound the rock for the majority of the shot clock and get a shot off. And usually the shot he got off was a good shot by his standards. But we need to play a more modern offense with more ball movement. And that means that Brunson will have to have a lower usage rate going forward and becoming more of a passing point guard, which he showed he could do on this Knicks team. There's been multiple games where he's had 8 plus assists. Next, I would like to see Cat shoot more threes. I think that this should be a product of a more fluid offense. I also wouldn't mind seeing if Cat taps into his passing bag more and kind of being used as a passing big the same way that Mike Brown kind of used Sabonis in Sacramento. Next, I would like to see more involvement from Mikal Bridges offensively and defensively. He has shown that he could do both, here on the Nets and on the Suns. I think the big thing that will unlock Mikal Bridges' game is kind of just getting him more off ball movements, getting him more cuts, easy buckets, easy layups. We already know his mid range is money. Um, so those are like the easy shots he likes to take. But I also would like to see him get up to around 40% shooting from 3-point percentage again. I think that would definitely unlock his full potential here in New York. And in terms of what OG Anunoby, I'm just looking for more consistency with him. You know, sometimes he'll explode for a big game. He'll drop a big 30-point game, kind of like how he did last Christmas. He had a real big game that Christmas. But then the next game he'll drop 10 points, and then he's just very inconsistent when it comes to his scoring. Defensively, he's very good. He's very solid. I think he's still our best defender. But offensively, I would like to see him more consistent. 15 to 18 points, plus those big explosions that we know he could have. And when it comes to Mitchell Robinson, I just need the big guy to keep getting those rebounds, because crash the glass, get those offensive rebounds, do what he does best. Yeah, it'll be great if he could hit his free throws, but we're not, you know, we need him to get his rebounds, which he does do for us. Just keep doing what you do, Mitchell. Now, onto our bench unit. Our main bench unit of Juice McBride, Josh Hart, newly acquired Jordan Clarkson, and Yasabel. This has potential to be a big-time bench unit for the Knicks. I fully expect Jordan Clarkson to take over the scoring role with this unit. He's a bucket, and we signed him to be a bucket. Only thing is he has to stay healthy and know that he's on a team trying to win it all and not trying to just stat pad, getting his stats up, get a win. The next thing with Yasabo, I'm probably butchering his name, but Yasabo, he had a good season with the Sixers last year, even though they had a pretty banged up team. I'm expecting him to be a big body here for the Knicks. He can play the 4, the 5. He can shoot the 3. All around Swift's Army knife kind of player. Really excited to see him play. With Deuce, I'm expecting more consistency. Like OG Ananobi, sometimes I feel like he disappears when he's out there. So I definitely just want to see a very consistent, 8 points from Deuce, 2 threes and a layup. And he's already a good defensive player, so just need a little bit more consistency on offense. And Josh Hart, quite literally the heart of the team. I think a move back to the bench would be massive for us. He's a Swiss Army knife, and I think a player like Josh Hart is best utilized coming off the bench and in late game situations. He does have to do a better job at knocking down the 3-point ball when they come his way. But he does so much more for the team that I honestly could excuse him missing or shooting a lower percentage from threes because he's just that important to the team. Those are the main guys who are on the bench who will definitely be getting playing time, but the next bench is still deeper than that. We still have Hulk Purdy as a backup big who has shown good flashes in his limited playing time last year. We still have Tyler Kolek and Pakam Dediat, who also probably won't be getting much playing time this year either, unfortunately. But those are still two young, talented players to have on our team. At the time of this video's recording, the Knicks currently have signed Malcolm Brogdon and Landry Shamet to the team, and we don't know if one or both of those players will make the team, since we can't have too many veteran minimum players on the team. Something with the salary cap, second apron kind of thing. So I'm going to talk about what both bring to the team, and we'll see what happens. With Malcolm Brogdon, I think having him on the team would be a huge plus, as he's a great veteran when he's healthy. Um, he's kind of a great floor general, which is the one thing the Knicks are kind of missing in terms of having on the bench. We don't really have a floor general. I think he was a great floor general. He can score on all 3 levels: mid range, paint, 3-point shot. So if healthy, Malcolm Brogdon is an excellent addition to this team. And on the other hand, Landry Shamet was here last year and he hit some big shots for us. This team is lacking a straight up shooter, which is Landry Shamet. Um, so yeah, both players would be excellent additions to this already deep bench unit that the Knicks have. This next this Knicks team could potentially play 10 players deep, and as OKC showed last year, depth wins championships. With the major injuries to Boston and the Pacers that they sustained last year in the playoffs, the battle for the East is quite literally wide open. The Cavs would be another top team, and they should not be taken lightly. The Magic, I believe, will also be another top team in the East this year if healthy with the addition of Desmond Bain, as long as the continued growth of Paolo Banchero as well as Franz Wagner. Also, don't sleep on the Atlanta Hawks. Trey Young, Dyson Daniels had a great season last year. The development of Ricochet, the number 1 pick, Zachary. I'm probably saying his last name wrong, but Zachary, the number 1 pick last year. He looks like he's a very good shooter and a fluid player. So don't sleep on the Hawks, and also don't sleep on a healthy Sixers team. Yeah, we know it takes a lot for them to be healthy, but a healthy Joel Embiid, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey, alongside Adam VJ Edgecombe, that's a nasty team. You don't want to mess around with them. I believe that the East won't be a cakewalk like most people think, but I'm still predicting the Knicks to win at least 50 games again. But once the playoffs start, it'll be a bloodbath. If everything clicks, we have the best chance in the East to make the finals. And once we make the finals, kind of got to leave it up to the basketball gods at that point. I do think this is our best chance to make it happen. And the Knicks must strike while the iron is hot and while we have this chance. Thanks for watching my Knicks breakdown. I hopefully plan to do more breakdowns for other teams in the NBA. So leave any suggestions in the comments below if you want to see a team. And on that note, thanks for watching. We going out.